looking at right now is a tiny tripod that I got back when I worked at Lechmere 100 years ago. A bag of sausages that I didn't get 100 years ago, but they are bangers from Stop and Shop. A pan full of water on one of those copper pans, and the stove. So what you're going to see me do is get this on the tripod, get it angled to focus on the pan, and then we're going to cook up these bangers for a little lunch today. So it's a little WWJCE lunchtime video, and we'll see how this works. This tripod is very bendy, and this DSLR is kind of heavy, so it's not as easy as it could be, but whoop. All right, let me go get a better tripod, and I will go from there. Although I could, if I do this properly, I might be able to put the video camera up here on the island. Nope, it looks like it's still gonna fall to one side. Maybe if I prop up the side of this. This is filmmaking at its best. Ooh, that may work. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Here we are. We're gonna take the sausages. We're gonna turn the stove on, not on too high. Just you can start it a little high because you want to boil off the water, but then the sausages, the bangers, will seep some of the flavor out into the water as they start to cook, and you lower the heat as you progress, as they cook and as the water boils off. The beautiful thing about this copper pan, and this is not a copper pan commercial, though if you speak to my wife, she'll tell you that I like to watch those commercials end to end. The beautiful thing about the copper pan is that it doesn't require a lot of cleaning. So I can cook these up and really fry them up nice so that they get really crisp on the outside. And they do get the pan a little dirty, but the pan comes clean like that. So this is going to be exciting. This is a lot like my egg poaching video, where as long as you want to hang out for a little bit, you'll see these boil up and cook, and you'll see the finished product. The current product is this right here. And you don't probably need as much water as I've put in there, but it'll boil off pretty quickly. I'm going to pause for right now, and then we'll come back to it once we're boiling. We've got a nice simmer going, you can hear it. And if we zoom in, you can see that I still have it on fairly high heat, which I am going to lower in a minute, but as this water boils off and renders down, the flavor from the bangers comes more into the pan and really helps them cook up nicely. So let's see if I can get back to my original spot where I had oh yeah, I think that's even better. Perfect. Alright, so you can still see the water in there boiling, but as you could tell before, the sausages are starting to curl a little because they're starting to get warmer and warmer. Use just a plastic spatula. With these pans, you don't want to use anything metal. And as you cook up these sausages, you might want to prep whatever else you're going to have. I am not going to have really any side dish with it. Some of the casing does fall off, and I just pull that out of there so it won't stick to the pan. But I usually have toast or tea or something like that. Right now I'm working on some raspberry zinger iced tea, and I think all I need for this is going to be a plate, a fork, whoa, and a knife. We'll just get those ready. Don't really need any seasoning, and the water's continuing to boil. Now what's nice about this is a lot like watching paint dry. Here you go, I'm tipping the pan so you can see it. We've already boiled off about half the water. And you can tell the sausages have grown a little in size just from the heat. But as this water evaporates, I'm going to continually lower the heat so that we don't burn these. But what you want to do is make sure they're cooked through. The other beautiful thing about using water to cook sausages or any meat product like bacon or anything like that is that it spatters a lot less if you're using water to render them down and heat them up. I know that's a real pain. This teapot, you can tell how dirty this thing is because I have cooked burgers on the stove and we have cooked other stuff on the stove that did spatter a lot. But doing this, I don't really have to do much cleanup at all afterward. Saves you a little money buying the food from the supermarket and cooking it at home, which is a financial lesson. If you're looking for any more financial lessons or have kids that want that, it is April, it is Financial Literacy Month. If you go over to my blog on my I think it's under the technology section at jeffcutler.com. I have a blog post on a financial literacy application that just came out from Mass Mutual and Future Smart. Teaches kids how to manage money and make smart decisions about purchasing. But just generally a smart decision to eat at home when you can. And don't get me wrong, I eat out probably 80% of my meals, but when I can eat at home and when I find something at home that I really like to eat, I'll prepare that and cook it up. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit, pour off the water because it's gotten to the point where these are pretty nice looking. And I just want to give them a nice little crisp crust from the pan and fry them up. I've knocked the heat down to about half of where it was. The remaining water is going to steam off, and I'll bring you back to the sausages once I've started to get them more finished, and we'll do another close-up. As you can see and hear, the sausages themselves are sizzling and the pan doesn't have any water in it. They're starting to stick a little bit. Let me try and zoom out and show this. They're starting to stick a little bit and they're starting to get a little sear on them, which is nice. And that will continue. You can also see in the bottom of the pan, if I focus in there, that you are getting a little crust on the pan, but that cleans up very quickly. So, just want to give you a little progress report, and I will continue, now we're at this low heat, continue cooking these for another few minutes, and they should be done, and I'll show you the finished product on the plate. We started at 12:38, 12:39. So you can tell how long this takes to do it properly. And that's really the important thing if you're looking for a consistent product and a good breakfast. Be back in a second. As promised, the sausage is nearly done now. You can tell that the pan does get a little dirty, but these are heated most of the way through, if not all the way through. It's now 12:53, so it's been only another couple minutes, and they've browned up nicely. So maybe in a moment or two, I'll show you the finished on the plate, and we'll go from there. Right now, it might be a good time for you to start your own lunch. And talk to you in a second. And I present to you the final product. Browned up nicely. A few sausages for lunch. The pan, as I told you, was going to be a little scarred up, but that comes right off. So I'm just going to let it cool, then I'll wash it. The one thing I wanted to point out is when you go to a restaurant, your sausages don't take 18 minutes or however long this took. They probably take like 6 or 7 minutes to come out to you. But those sausages and bacon and hash and all that stuff is going on the flat top all the time. And they can just move these to a cooler part of the grill while they cook. If you didn't know, that's how it worked. That's about it for now. Thanks for watching. My name is Jeff Cutler. You can find me at Jeff Cutler on various social media sites, or just go to jeffcutler.com and you'll find all the links there. Thanks. Bon appetit.